So Sea of Thieves Season 15 came out about 2 weeks ago, and in this video I'm going to be giving a review on what I think the season's done well and what I think it could have improved on, and in general where it falls, I guess, in the best Sea of Thieves seasons. I mean, this was the first content update for a while, so it definitely did bring life back into the game. That's one massive positive I can say about it. But anyway, without further ado, let's get right into it. So this update was heavily focused around the Hunter's Call. It added so much more to do for this company, which I'll get into now. So first of all, it added new fishing voyages where you can catch treasured fish. These are effectively very similar to just normal fishing, but it means for the first time you can actually go to certain locations and hunt for fish and guarantee to get them, which I think was a very, very necessary change. They also added Hunter's Call Emissary, so finally you can now get the Hunter's Call Emissary like flag in general, and you can also get it to grade 5, which is really useful for making fishing so much easier and more effective. And it also added a whole host of voyages, such as the raid voyages, which you can now dive to for the Hunter's Call, which you get new Hunter's Call loot for. So there's a litany of new Hunter's Call loot to get, which I think is absolutely amazing. It also added 2 new Megalodons, the Feared Redmaw and the Barnacle Dread, which both have unique abilities. For example, the Feared Redmaw can unleash an explosion onto your ship of fire, which I think is really cool to see in the game. And the Barnacle Dread is also a very, very cool fight because you have to remove its coral armor. When it bites you, it can spawn ocean crawlers on your ship, which means you'd have an on-ship battle for the first time with AIs on your ship, which I think is really, really interesting and really cool to see. In general, these new Megalodons are very different from the original ones. I think they do add a bit of life to the game and to random encounters. You can also encounter them when you get to grade 5 in the Hunter's Call, which gives you even more of an incentive, in my opinion, to level that up and get to grade 5. Now, this is kind of a main thing they added. They obviously did add a plunder pass, as you know, as previously in every other season, which I think is quite a good plunder pass in general. But there's not really much to talk about for that because it happens every season. You can also now level a Hunter's Call up to level 100 and beyond, so it's very similar to all the other factions. It's not capped at 50 anymore. I did get 50 before this change, but now it's been much easier for people to level up the Hunter's Call and to get the achievements relating to leveling up it. Now, later on in the season, they are adding a few new things which haven't been added yet. So they're adding the hunting spear, which is mainly used to deal with wildlife and can actually be fired from a cannon and pierce the ship's hull, so can be used kind of like a cannonball in a way. They're also adding ambient wildlife, which I'm quite excited to see. They're going to be adding jellyfish, little geckos, wild boars. I think this is a very great change for Sea of Thieves. It's going to really make the game a lot more alive. It's going to make the game feel way more alive and kind of enhance the ambience at sea. That's kind of what they've said about it. They're also adding hostile wild boars, which are going to attack you, and I think that's quite interesting to be, finally be able to fight animals in the game, which are going to, actually fight back. And they're adding more hunting voyages, so you'll probably be able to find Megalodons, and I believe Krakens or Grand Boars, which should be super interesting to be able to track down Megalodons, Boars, and Krakens. Anyway, that's the update so far that's been, released. And that's been announced to be released. Now, what do I think of it? I think all of these changes are absolutely brilliant for the game. I think that they've really revitalised the game, especially the Hunter's Call. The faction was in quite a bad state. It was almost dying out a bit and was really not that useful. But now with hunting voyages, it's really, had a whole new breath of air breathed into it. And I think that the game in general has had a whole breath of fresh air. There's been a lot of patches to do with game stability and game health, which Sea of Thieves are bringing out. And I think this is a really good step in the right direction. I think in general, this update has been great. It's been one of the best seasons in the recent few. And I think in general, this is going to be a good step forward for Sea of Thieves, and so overall I think this has been a great season. It does obviously have some improvements. I think that they didn't add kind of like enough to keep a lot of old players who've completed everything kind of back for the whole time, but once they've added everything they need to be added from this season, I think it'll be a super fun season that all players can enjoy. So in general, a great season, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this little review, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.